Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and our show today is the Film and Music Show. We have a fabulous guest backstage. Before we bring him out and rap along, let's welcome the star of our show, Dr. Madalene Chan. Hello.
Hi. Hello, Dr. Jacalyn. Hi, viewers.
How are you today, my friend?
I'm very well, actually. I did a lovely episode of Talking Heads earlier on. And it's my day off, which is good as well. So, yeah, very happy.
Well, we're happy that you're here. And I know you just started a new career, which I guess you started many years ago, but took it back over. So we'll talk about that in a little while. But we've got a great guest backstage. And actually, we just had an artist on our book show. So I'm super excited that on our actual film and music show, we have another artist on. Tell us how you know Glenn. I heard backstage that you two had a collaboration a number of years back.
Yes. I've known Glenn Buhagiar from Malta when I lived there. And it was a wonderful lady called Kathy Manuel, who lived in a lovely place in Malta called Maliha. And Kathy Manuel was a great friend of mine, and she introduced me to Glenn, who's a rapper, singer-songwriter, and a musician. And now, of course, up to date, he produces his own music as well. And I was just taken back with Glenn because what a big heart he has. Honestly, the way that he works with his songs, and he just was intense, but really had a message to bring through his music. And yeah, I'll let you, Dr. Jacalyn, bring Glenn through.
All right, let's bring Glenn out.
Yay, go Glenn.
Come on out, Glenn. Nice to see you.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hi, it's nice to have you here today and hear that little bit of background from Dr. Chan. So where have you found your passion for music? When did you realize that this was something that was really important to you?
I think, to be honest with you, music was something I've always had. Like ever since I was a kid. My parents were basically they both got married at a really young age, and they had me at a young age, but they were still teenagers themselves. Well, not teenagers, but to a sense, they were still a young couple themselves. So they were still like living their life, and suddenly they have this kid, and they pretty much did everything they wanted to do, even though they had me. And my parents loved music. Like music was just like, from the day I was born, I think like music was all I would listen to. And it just became something that I really, really loved. I've always loved it. And even at a really young age, like I would sing songs that I've heard, that my dad used to play back in the 80s. And I'd get the timing just right. I had the words just right. It was just, I don't know, music was just a really big part of my life. It always has been. And then there just came a point in my life where, as I grew older, that I started writing poems. This was back in, primary school. I was still pretty young, But I started off with poems, and the teacher would get me to stand up and read the poem out to the class. So it was always something, like I'm saying, it was always something that was really in me. And then again, as I grew older and older, and then it turned into writing lyrics. And from there, I then started to make my own music with music programs and music software and so on. And then finally, Dave Goodman had listened to one of my songs, and he was intrigued, and from then on, it just continued on from there. And I kind of went through a phase of listening to rap music, because I always used to listen to like rock and classic rock and all that before. But I went through this phase of listening to rap, and in that phase of listening to rap was where I was mostly writing lyrics. So that's where I then kind of like fell into that, and I kind of like kept doing that from then on, doing rap.
Wow, that's such an interesting journey. Thank you for sharing that with us.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Something that's always intrigued me is when I listen to rap music and there's a story, there's a journey, and there's emotion, and there's
Exactly.
a lot you got to remember in that order. Like, how does that happen? That even though it might be a personal story, you still have to remember everything in order, because if you don't get the order right, then people listening are like, wait a minute, he was over here, now he's over there.
That's it.
Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, to be honest, like rap can actually be quite diverse. You know, you can be talking about a whole bunch of stuff that don't really relate to each other, or you can be, like we're saying, like having a story. And I believe that when it comes to like telling a story, rap is just the best way to do that. Rap really captures that moment, if you will, you know. So, and you're right. It's like you're saying, you know, you kind of, if you are like telling a story, you really need to have that. It needs to have a really good build up for starters, and also needs to be in the right order. You need to be, you know, making sense in what you're saying when you're telling the story. In fact, even when I'm like, because I'm not really much for doing spontaneous rap. I don't just like get on and just like start saying whatever comes to mind. I'm not really good at that, but I'm really good at writing. And when it comes to writing, I find myself a lot of the times kind of like going back and arranging something, because sometimes certain lines that I would have used here would have sounded much better if I put them in the beginning, or maybe vice versa. So yeah, you're right. It's this whole telling a story needs to have a build up, needs to be in the right context, and that is one of the most reasons why I love doing stories, mostly like telling a story, or speaking about a subject and really getting into the detail of that subject. I love doing that, because that's where you can really capture someone when they're listening to it, I believe.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that. It's a real talent. It's real art.
Yeah, thank you. Glenn, I was just wondering, what inspires you on the subject of rapping? What is the, how can I say, the topic that fires you up, that is your passion when you are rapping or writing?
I mean, whenever I'm making music, whenever I'm doing a song, most of the time, if I'm talking about something that a message that I really want to bring out there, sometimes I talk about, for example, in Malta we have a bit of a crisis with how the rent is too high, whereas the salaries are really low, and it makes the cost of living and the general living for people over here quite hard, and therefore it means that people are spending more time working than doing what they love in their life. And I feel that that's a shame, because life is short and we shouldn't spend it only working. We should, because most of us, you find that most of us are working because we want that money to run after that thing that we love, and then we end up not having time to do that thing that we love. So I find that really, really something that I need to talk about. So if I'm doing a rap song where I'm talking about stuff like that, that really does get me like fired up and everything. But I think the most thing that really gets me is when I'm talking about my personal life, when I'm talking about stuff that I've been through or stuff that I feel that a lot of people are going through, but I am also going through it. Obviously, that's going to be where you get fired up the most, and you have the most passion because you've been through it, you understand how it feels, and that that is something that for me, I feel that my best performance comes out when I'm doing that.
Thank you, Glenn, for sharing that. That's valid points in every way. Thank you.
Okay.
Glenn, one of the things that we talk about on this platform in many ways, because it's so important, is how creativity helps us with our mental health and how it helps us channel emotions or things that we have locked up inside of us. Have you had any part of your journey around mental health and helping you express yourself?
I wouldn't say I really had any mental health issues ever, but as you know, you can tell I have a birthmark, and that I did struggle with it at times. I wouldn't say I struggled with it all that much. I feel that I'm quite blessed that I was raised well enough that I was able to handle that without any problems. So much so that I don't think I had that many people feeling the need to bully me about it because I was so, cool about it. I was so open about it. I was, for me, it's like it wasn't there and it isn't kind of thing. But but so that's what I'm saying. Like I don't feel like I had any mental illness or anything like that. But there, these things I did struggle with. I do sometimes feel like I struggle with. Um, and so yeah, I do sometimes use that in my music, but I've never really been one to be like, oh, poor me kind of thing, So I don't really like to use that in my music, and I don't want people to interpret it that way because I don't actually feel that way. I don't feel like I've had like a really bad life or anything like that. But yeah, I've been through some stuff and I've seen some stuff. So some pretty bad stuff as well have happened to me. But on the whole, I really feel that I've been quite blessed, and I've always been able to take things with a really good stride. And I have songs that talk about that as well, where I'm saying, listen, I've been through stuff, but hey, I've come out fine. So if I can do it, anyone can.
Nice,
Honestly, wow.
Fabulous. Thank you.
Commendable in every way, Glenn. Honestly, you're an inspiration. There's
Thank
so
you.
many people out there that like complain of little whatever things, and you don't. You're just this powerhouse of
Yeah.
positivity.
No, I don't. I don't.
Thank you
I,
for
Thank
sharing
you.
it.
You're welcome. I don't believe in all that. And for anyone who's watching this, and hopefully there's somebody that can take something away from it. If there was a time, I think that when I was younger, I kind of always pointed my finger and said, "Oh, because they wouldn't accept me, and because they wouldn't, and because they and this and that," and point my finger. And I realized quite quickly that that was getting me nowhere. It's got to start from you. And the moment that I started saying, "Hey, wait a minute, okay, they are doing this, but what am I doing to help myself?" And I find myself that nowadays I'm doing much better simply because I applied that mentality into my own mind. And so yeah, so anyone out there who's feeling a little low, please know that if you really push yourself to do something about whatever problems you may be going through, you'll be all right, for sure.
Glenn, have you thought of teaching a course around this? It's so needed across the world.
No, I never actually thought about it, to be honest, but yeah, I think that would actually be a really good idea because I do feel like You know, I think that if people can see someone like me saying, hey, listen, you know, you can get out of a bad time, I believe that I could do a lot of good. But yeah, I never actually really thought about it, to be honest.
I believe you can, Glenn. I believe that you've been put here for a purpose, a big mission, and I do believe that Dr. Jacalyn will help and elevate you and bring you on to the next level.
Thank you.
I'd be happy
Thank you.
to. Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
So, Glenn, when you think about all the things that you do, rapper, singer, songwriter, producer, is there one that really stands out as the one that brings you the most joy, or maybe the one that you feel you're going to be putting more time into?
I would say the most that gives me joy is when I'm actually rapping, when I'm actually in the studio and I'm you know, pouring out my heart, so to speak. That is where I feel the most happy, the most passionate about what I'm doing. But I enjoy everything. You know, I enjoy the recording itself, because sometimes I get other people coming into the studio. I really enjoy doing that with them. I get so much joy out of, you know, having a track and having a person singing, coming into the studio and putting them together, and then you're mixing it later, and it's just, I just really enjoy doing that. But I do believe that yes, the most I get out of it is when I'm doing it myself. But again, that's because, like I said before, a lot of it is more personal, and so therefore, maybe without even really knowing it, that's kind of my stress relief. I don't know, but maybe, yeah.
Lovely. Thank you.
I'm totally shocked. I mean, you've really grown, honestly, Glenn, because Dr. Jacalyn, I knew Glenn when he used to go to the late Kathy Manuel's recording studio, Dave Goodman, the late Dave Goodman as well. They were known as, they're just great couple. Anyway, Glenn used to go to Kathy's on a Saturday morning, I remember, to go and record. Yeah. And I remember that Kathy Manuel, bless her, she's up there in the stars in the heavens. She said, I've always penciled out Glenn. Glenn has to come. She says he's the most committed and focused, and he has so much passion in what he does. And I love, she says, I can't quite get round rapping, but I do like Glenn. That's exactly how she spoke. Exactly how she spoke, with a real English.
Yeah. And you know, speaking about that, I'd really like to take the opportunity to say that she has been amazing through it all. Like, I love her and miss her so much. It's unbelievable, but she has really pushed me to be better, and you know, even having made this built my own studio, that was with her help and with her encouragement. I put in a lot of money and a lot of time in doing so, because I built it. Since I rent, I don't actually own my own place. I move around from place to place, so I designed kind of like a studio, where I can just like take it apart and move it wherever I'm gonna go. I mean, it takes a lot of work and moving vans and stuff like that, because there's a lot of pieces to it. But yeah, I kind of like designed it in a way where I can just take it apart and then build it again in the new place. And I have a person who actually built it for me, and he takes it apart and builds it in the new place every time. But it was, you know, my idea in doing so, and Kathy has helped so much with all of that. So yeah,
that's fabulous.
Very grateful.
Yeah, that is. And Glenn, we have a YouTube clip that we can play if you'd like us to.
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to bring it up. Do you want to share a little bit of background for our audience about what we're going to be watching and hearing?
This song I did actually a really long time back, but I feel that the words in it are really powerful. The song is really powerful. In fact, the song is called Anthem for the Year 2000, or Anthem for the Year 2011, I believe. Because I already forgot the name because it's been so long ago. But when I did that, I was talking about, you know, the certain world crises and crises that the world was going through, and it has. I mean, once you hear the words and everything, and I believe that the words are really nice and clear in it as well. You can really understand what's being said. That there's a lot of good points there that had been said, but bear in mind again, this was done a really long time ago, so it was talking about, coming from a different age, different time. However, there's still a lot of, I believe that there's still a lot of points in it that would apply till today, and for a very long time.
Okay, thank you for that story, and here we go.
I look around me and all I see, oh just forget it. How many past mistakes we make and live with it. This is the year 11, coming to year 12. Question is, will we live long enough to save ourselves? How many people said they'd rather than be dead? See the life we lead, than the life we led. To see the blood we shed, into blood we were wed. To see the nightmares crawling around inside your head. Even a blind man sees the world is on its knees because of all the greed. We've lost the hope we need. Football is making millions and some can't feed their kids. Gaddafi's taking over. Who the fuck does he think he is?
This is an answer for the year 2011.
From now till forever, the world needs to come together. Come on.
I hope I see you smiling up in heaven.
And this is all a simple fact. It is time to change our act. Come on.
This is an answer for the year 2011.
From now till forever, the world needs to come together. Come on.
I hope I see you smiling up in heaven.
And this is all a simple fact. It is time to change our act. Come on. I see it on the news. It makes me wanna cry. Japan is now in turmoil. Can't see eye to eye. Gaddafi's killing his people. How power makes you evil. Sometimes the less you have in life, the more you treat others equal. It's all a sham to me. In this catastrophe, this new world order's a bit more drastic than it fucking seems. Knock homes down, build your buildings. Profit from what you're yielding. Some thousands, some make millions. Stop acting like fucking children.
This is an answer for the year 2011.
From now till forever, the world needs to come together. Come on.
I hope I see you smiling back at me in heaven.
And it is all a simple fact. It is time to change our act. Come on.
This is an answer for the year 2011.
From now till forever, the world needs to come together. Come on.
I hope I see you smiling back at me in heaven.
And this is all a simple fact. It is time to change our act. Come on.
Mélodie là, je sais pas si bien.
The world needs to come together, man. We gotta stop pulling away from each other. Only thing to fear in life is fear itself. It's time to unite, because the whole world is going crazy. It's time to set aside the bullshit and make it right. It's time to make it right. Come on.
Wow.
Wow. powerful. I mean,
Thank
Super
you.
powerful. Amazing. You know, it occurred to me that that was 2011 to 2023, and we have a lot of the same problems.
Yes, that's
Don't you
right.
think? Amazing.
That's right. I believe so. Yeah.
I was
Wow.
actually thinking that as well, Dr. Jacalyn, exactly what you were thinking. 2023, and human collective consciousness is still, well, some people are waking up, but there's too many of them still sleeping. It's like,
True.
what will it take? What will it take?
How long did it
That's
take you to
right.
put that together, Glenn?
I won't lie. It didn't really take me that long. I mean, when I actually sit down and write a song, it actually doesn't take me that long to get it done. I know what I want to say. It's there in my mind, and usually, I mean, there was a time when I used to write the words and then I'd find the music for it. But as I grew older, it was like once I have a beat, boom, I know what needs to be said. I know how this needs to be. Uh, Portrayed, and I just get in there. I write everything down. I might go through it a couple of times, just make sure if I want to maybe change something or say something differently. But generally, I get it done in a couple of hours.
Amazing. So now that you have with us, we've had this discussion that not much has changed. Will you do a follow-up to that
Yeah,
song?
yeah, I think I should.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
anthem for the year 2023. I like the idea of that actually. Yeah,
yeah.
I should. I mean, I have a lot of other songs, that also talk about stuff that we're going through and whatnot. But that's a really nice idea. Maybe I should do that. Yeah.
I think so. That and the course. Yeah.
Yeah.
So one thing I want to ask you is I found as an author that the author community is very welcoming. Do you find as a performer, as a rapper, that the community is also welcoming, or is there a lot of competition?
Not so much in my country, to be honest. I mean, in Malta, it's really hard to actually get your music out there and do something with it. In fact, I was on the X Factor, the Malta X Factor, but it started off really well for me, but then it didn't go so well after some time, and it was mostly because I was asked to sing a song, which is not what I do. I rap. So it really threw me off and I ended up ruining it, all that. I mean, a lot of it was also me. I don't feel that I don't think I was actually 100% prepared for it, to be honest. But in the same time, that really threw me off and I kind of like, I ended up getting booted out. But yeah, it's in Malta. It's not really that easy to do something with your music, and that, as we were talking about earlier backstage, it's also another reason why I'd like to leave Malta, because I need to experience more, actually have more experiences and have a wider place where I can play around with my music and meet the right people and so on and so forth, and get that message out there, basically.
Thanks for sharing that. It's interesting to me that you go on this show and you are a rapper and they don't want you to rap. They want you to do something else. It's like you're going on a cooking show and you're going to do skydiving. It doesn't,
Yeah,
it doesn't make
exactly,
any
exactly,
sense.
exactly.
So did you explain to them that, hey, I'm a rapper, this is what I do? And they said, doesn't matter?
I did not, and the reason being is because I tried to take that song and make it my own, but when this is a song that you've heard in your childhood, and in your head it's still playing in the same way, and you're trying to do it differently, that's what threw me off mostly. In fact, I even remember saying on the stage, like, the song is what it is, and it's hard for me to do it any differently, even though I tried.
Well, I guess the good news is you had that experience and now you can always
Yes,
refer back to what you learned from it.
yes. I'll never regret that experience either way, for sure.
Glenn, I was going to say, as an artist and a writer that you are. I admire the way that you stick to your guns, stick to your this is how it's been written, this is the energy that it was written in. I'm not going to change it for anyone or anything. Whether it's on TV or anything. That's it. This is how it is.
No,
really,
that's
again, commendable.
Thank you. Oh yeah, that's 100%. I've always been like that. Like I won't deviate from what I do. That's what I do. That's the way I do it, and I won't deviate from that. Because the moment that you do start deviating, I believe then the message gets lost, and that's not what I want. Because I truly believe, and this is another reason why I'm here and I'm doing this interview as well, because I truly believe that music is very powerful. It can be really powerful, and you can actually, help someone through something. I do believe that for sure. Plenty of artists have actually, with their music, helped other people with whatever they may be going through. So yeah, I believe that music is really powerful, and the moment that the message gets lost, then in fact, I really can't stand listening to songs that there isn't actually a message in it, because then why are you doing that? Like that's my opinion. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I never made songs that are like, just like being just rapping, just having fun with it. Sure, I have, but I've never said anything. Even then, when I'm making something just for fun, I've never said anything that was just made no sense, and so that's what it is to me. Like, I won't deviate from that. I want to send a message every time, if possible.
That makes a lot of sense, because I know for me, when I've been going through something and I hear a song, I feel like, oh, wow, someone else has had this experience or something similar, and it's okay. There's nothing wrong with me. I'm not alone.
Yeah. And it's a lot like listening to a love song when, you've been single for years, and it's a lovely song, you enjoy hearing it, but the moment that suddenly you're in a relationship and the relationship has just started and you're in love with this person, that's the moment that you really understand and feel that song. So that's how powerful music is.
Yeah, it's so true. I remember like various breakups in my life, and I play the same song over and over, and I'd be like, ah! And then when you get over it, you're like, oh, I can't sing that song anymore. Did you ever have that experience?
So true. Sorry?
Have either of you ever had that experience through a breakup or any kind of breakup?
Well, I suppose, yeah. In fact, just saying that, like, I understood breakup songs a lot more when I actually went through a breakup, and and they really hit the heart when you listen to them in that moment. I could listen to it now, and it wouldn't hit me in the same way, obviously. But in that moment, I was going through that emotion. I could really understand what was being said in the song.
I totally agree. I mean, when CDs were really popular, I used to play the CD, that song, again and again until it was literally worn down. It really was, yeah. And now it's like, then I went back to it and I threw it away. I didn't resonate with it anymore, because music is a universal language. Yeah.
That's it. That's true.
Yeah. We all love our songs.
Yep. I mean, I still listen to. Even now, I still listen to a lot of the old classics. I've gone back onto that. That old music, that reminiscent music. I really enjoy that.
Yes.
In fact, I think I perform rap myself, but I listen mostly to old songs rather than rap. I listen to that more than I do listen to rap, to be honest. But I think that kind of gives me the inspiration to then do my music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
When you say older music, because we're all different ages, I would assume, which decade, which era are you from?
Well, for me, it was mostly like 80s and maybe even a little bit of 70s. I kind of grew up on the Eagles, the Doors, Led Zeppelin. I grew up on all that pretty much. A whole lot of others, like I don't know. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Um, well, I don't know,
Any,
but in the same era as like Led Zeppelin and the Eagles and all that, that kind of music is what I grew up on, and I still love that kind of music till today. I spent a really good portion of my life listening to Eminem, obviously, because I got a lot of rap inspiration from there. Um, I spent a really good portion of my life also listening to Tupac, um, but and I also really enjoy Damian Marley, who's reggae, but he's kind of got a little bit of rap in there as well. Really do enjoy listening to that. But I think now the most that I really enjoy listening to is John Mayer. I just really enjoy listening to John Mayer. Got some
I,
really good music.
I love John Mayer in the way that Dr. Jacalyn, honestly, he's a wonderful artist, accomplished musician, and he does a lot of kind of blues,
Exactly.
and some jazz tones as well, and he's a very accomplished guitarist.
Very.
John Mayer, he's
I know
amazing.
of him. Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned to Kat Bartolo because I wouldn't have known John Mayer if it wasn't for Kat, because she's a friend of Glenn. You know, Kat Bartolo with John and James.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Kathy Bartolo. Hi.
Oh, she's the one who mentioned John Mayer to you.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's how I knew about John Mayer, but he's phenomenal.
Yes, I remember.
But Glenn, I was just saying, for any viewers that wish to start a career or start the journey of writing rap, is there any advice that you can give to our viewers?
I mean, honestly, I never really ever thought that rap could be something that somebody can learn. I think it's something that, I don't know, you kind of like you can do. But one thing that I would say is when I'm writing music, as we were saying before, how powerful it is when you're telling a story. For anyone who wants to do rap, do that. Tell a story. Talk about things that you've actually been through. Talk about things that you see around you that you feel needs addressing. And I believe that's where you need to start from. That's the best way to start, because if you're doing that, if what you're doing is powerful and it really resonates with other people, then that's the best way to kick off, in my opinion.
I love that. Share your life story. Thank you, Glenn.
Yeah, that's great. Glenn, we're almost at the end of the show, but we haven't talked about your work as a producer. Can you fill us in on this?
To be honest with you, I haven't really done much, but I have actually, as I was saying, because I really enjoy listening to John Mayer. So I have actually recorded a few blues songs with other artists, because I don't consider myself a singer. I wrote all the lyrics myself. I actually got the music, however, from off other sites and stuff like that. But this was more of a project that I was doing for myself. And then I had friends and people that I met along the way who would sing, and they would come to the studio and they would sing the song. But I always wanted it to be like a duet, like a male and a female. I was filling it. I found plenty of females to sing, but I could never find a good male singer that was willing to come in and do that. So I was filling it in myself, but I'm not too happy with my singing, to be honest. But I have done that. I have tried doing that. I've also done, just for myself, a project of new metal, which is basically like rap and metal music in the same time, because I do enjoy that kind of music as well. But I think that, again, that was more of a project that I was doing for myself, simply because I enjoy that music and I wanted to, be able to do some of that myself. but also currently I'm producing something which it's rap as well, but it's kind of different. It's something a little bit eerie, and it's very different, to be honest. It's something that I'm working on, and I'd like to bring it out once I have the whole I have a full album ready to launch. But again, I'm the one doing the rap, but I'm also the one producing. So I think I mostly produce for myself now, but I do produce for other people, and I do produce all kinds of genres, because I just enjoy doing music. I'll do anything really and truly, as long as, again, what is being said is meaningful. So that's where I'm at with that.
Wonderful.
Love.
Wow.
Professional yet humble. Yeah. I was going to say, Dr. Jacalyn, don't you think it'd be wonderful for Glenn to come on the Creative Heart show that we do?
Yes, absolutely.
And possibly in the book.
Share his story in our book.
Share his story, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be fabulous. We'll talk to you more about that
I would
offline,
have
Glenn.
quite a story to tell, I guess.
Glenn, we have your contact information up, also what it is that you do. We have an email address for you. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience for them to connect with you?
Well, yeah, you can find me on Facebook as well, under Ace G Records Malta. Yeah, I mean, that's the best way to get in contact with me. And,
Madeleine, can you type that into the chat?
Sorry, Glenn, I didn't quite hear you. What did you
so
say?
it's Ace Records.
Ace Records. Yeah, got it. Malta. There you go. Ace Records Malta. And is that your Facebook?
Yeah, that's the studio page, basically. I mean, it's not, I'll be honest, it's not very active, because most people that do come to the studio, they don't really go through the site all that much. They don't really go through Facebook all that much. They generally just call me, or, well, yeah, generally they call me because it's either somebody I know or somebody who, through word of mouth, somebody would have told them, hey, listen, I know this guy, he has a studio, give him a call, and they'll give them their number. Most of the people that have been in my studio were like that. But the site is there, and anyone can contact me on that if they need for anything, even if it's something I can help with, even maybe building up a studio or whatever. If they need any pointers, I'm happy to help.
Fantastic.
I really believe this course, Dr. Jacalyn, that you were suggesting for Glenn to write a course. I really feel I can feel it coming through.
Yeah, I feel it as
Maybe
well.
I will.
Yes.
Maybe I will.
Glenn, after the show, you'll get a survey with some questions and information, and just put on there that you're interested, and we'll pursue it. We'll move forward.
That's lovely. I really enjoyed this. Thank you very much.
Thank
it was
you.
so nice to see you, and so nice to meet you, Jacalyn.
Yes, absolutely. It's a pleasure. Please continue being successful and staying as down to earth as you are, because that is what we need more of in this world.
That's right. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Dr. Chan, how can people reach out to you?
Yeah, if you can email me, that would be wonderful. It's madalenecarolchan@gmail.com. MADALENECAROLCHAN @gmail.com. I've said this many times and I've forgotten. All right, and then you can get me on Facebook, and you can get me on Instagram and LinkedIn as well. You can also buy my book, because I always like to say it now because it's good. There we go. Star Child on Amazon, which is in the link, amazon.eu. Anyway, it's in the link. So I look forward to hearing anyone that wants to bring out their voice, to connect to their heart, their soul song, their soul voice. I'm here to help you awaken to your creative heart. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. Thank you, everyone. Our next show is coming up. It's The Wise Ones. We appreciate you being here. Thank you again, Glenn. Thank you, Dr. Chan.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
We look forward to having you back again sometime in the future. Bye.
Thanks, Glenn.
Thanks, Glenn. Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Dr. Jacalyn. Bye.
I just can't take it anymore. I am so tired. I am so frustrated and burnt out. Why won't anyone listen to what I have to say? Yet I look on social media and everybody's smiling and having a great time. Meanwhile, I feel totally alone with my world rushing by. Guess what? Great news. You have a choice. You can change the dynamic by learning how to listen at an elevated level yourself through the power of listening educational courses. Can you imagine from where you are today to having a life overflowing with abundance? It's possible. Learn how to listen at an elevated level. You'll have deeper connections, better relationships, and more authentic conversations. Start today. Go to usaglobaltv.com, education, and learn how to listen. We have courses and children's books. Let's work together to learn how to listen.
Hello and welcome to USA Global TV and Radio. This is It's Your Healthy Lifestyle show, hosted by the founder of this platform, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, and myself, Roland Friedl. How important is your health and fitness to you? We show you how you can easily eat healthier every day, how you can improve your fitness and recover much quicker after your exercises and workouts. Families will learn how to optimize their children's health and nutrition. And finally, you will also hear how you live a long, healthy and fit life into your old age. Join us here on It's Your Healthy Lifestyle.